everyone, so welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to discuss about the objective. So we have been discussing about the hands-on coding practice, for Java generic, the PF, OOPS, TSA, every stuff we discussed. What about the objective? See, you will score, if you study really good, the top level, you will get 60 marks. And for getting the 100 marks, 100 of 100, 40 is needed, right? So the 40 marks will hold by the objective part. Very good in your hands-on. You can actually score 20 plus. You can say minimum 20 plus, or I will say more than 30 for your objective. Then your score will be above 90. And if you score above 90, the incentive will be higher. And if you score 80 above, then also you will get incentive, but lesser than those people who scored above 90. So in my first attempt Java, actually I scored only 43 marks, and 33 I have got from the hands-on, and I have got 9.5 marks out of 40 in objective. See, 9.5 marks. Then on the second attempt, I was completely into multiple times I have said, I scored full marks, 60 out of 60, plus I scored 21 marks in objective, 21 out of 40. On the stream, I think I have scored 26. That's actually my highest. But after the strategy, after knowing how to tackle the objective, I always score above 20. That's my pattern. I never changed the thing. Never ever changed the thing. For DBMS, I scored 23. All the things, stuff like that. I know that a lot of people will score more than 30 and all the stuff, but here I'm saying that you can actually score 20 plus in your objective. That's for sure. See, just imagine you scored, you can say 60 to 60 in your hands-on and 20 in objective. You can say 25 in your objective. 85 is there, right? The first attempt 85 score is very, very, very good. It's very remarkable. The first thing I want to say is that objective, it's not like, reading and memorizing the lines. In our college, it's like Geek for Geeks. You can read lot of essays and write blah blah blah, lot of things, just papers. You have to actually write all the things, and the paper weight is max 4 marks. Like that will be happen in college, right? Here it is not like that. If you only know the concept, if you know the complete knowledge, in-depth knowledge about this thing, even if it's very basic thing, then only you will get the mark. That's point. In a very simple for loop also, sometimes the pattern is like 4 int I is equal to 1, and you can say I plus plus, I less than 10, I plus plus. On that case also, they'll write something like plus plus I. So you have to know about the pre-increment and the post-increment, the thing. See, the difference is there. The output will be different in both cases. So on that note, in that level, you have to understand all the basic things. For that, I must say that you have to actually concentrate on your hands-on. This is actually unwritten truth. If you are very, very, very good in your hands-on, you can see in your concept, you can easily score 20 above. No one will stop you. Because there will be a lot of problems. The 3 marks problems is the best thing about Java, DBMS and stream. The output type of questions is there, which means find the output. That will be 3 marks. If you know the concepts only, then only you can actually grab that 3 marks. And that's all. So conceptual knowledge is must. That will be the topmost priority. The second thing I did as a mistake is that on the last day, you can say the day, next day I have the Java exam. On that night, I didn't even concentrate on hands-on. I was like, okay, hands-on will happen in this way. I have to now concentrate on my objective. Then I started to prepare, reading the lines, everything, and writing the keywords like abstract, this is this. But I didn't score. I was like, I only scored 9.5, which is very, very, very less compared to all the other people. And yes, that's why I'm saying, don't memorize anything. You have to understand the concept. Then only you will be able to score good marks. The next thing is negative marking. If you don't know a concept, if you don't know a question, you are in a confused state. Like 60% you are in confusion, only you are sure about 40%. Do not mark that question. And if you are 80% sure, okay, say 90% you are sure, then you can mark the question. Because the regret will be there. Oh, the answer was correct, but I didn't mark it, the fear of negative marking like that. But what else we can do? But if you are only you have to hit the right answer. You can say the option which you are actually 100% true. If you are actually 90 or you can say 80% sure about something, You can also mark, but still there will be some risk on that. You have to bear that risk. Next first thing that I'm gonna share is that you have to hold your emotions if your hands-on went wrong, because obviously the hands-on exam will be conducted on morning and the objective will be on afternoon. Most of the cases for generic Java, DBMS, for stream, FA1, FA2, for every exam, objective will be on the afternoon section. And if your hands-on went wrong, please hold that emotions. If it's correct, you can say if the hands-on you cleared all the test cases also, that's very good, congrats. You have to prepare more for the objective. That'd be a motivation for you to prepare for the objective more. And if your hands-on went really wrong, then also hold that emotion, the sadness, everything. Prepare for the objective. What if your objective is very easy? And the most cases, the objective exam for generic, you can say Java and DBMS, the exam was not that much of easy level. Questions will be very tricky. In my case, I'll say you, for my batch, the first attempt DBMS exam was kind of very tough. Second attempt, it was slightly easy. Third attempt, it was the easiest exam ever. So a lot of people scored, you can say 30 above for the objective. And I was already cleared in the first attempt, so I only scored 23. 23. My DBMS score was 83 and Java was 81. Combined generic, my average was 82. It happened to me also. When I was in my first attempt, I scored only 9.5 for the objective Java, right? So I know that the hands-on result went very wrong. You can say very bad. I was completely sad. I didn't even study a single thing, and I was completely marking. And that is one more. And that's one more mistake that people are doing. If some of your test cases is not going to pass, maybe 10 or 15 test cases of yours is not going to pass, and you only have objective, what you will do is that this is actually a mistake done by one of my friends, and he's actually cleared and he's now in the third attempt, but he did this mistake, and that's why I'm noting this thing. He marked every question. He completely filled all the objective questions will be 27 for Java, 40 marks, 27, because the question will be of 1 mark, 2 mark and 3 mark, and he marked every question in the hope of he'll pass the thing. You can say he can score 65, but unfortunately he didn't clear the exam just because he put a lot of negative marking by answering wrong answers to those questions who he's not that much sure. And for the third attempt, he was very wise. He cleared the exam with 60 out of 60 and 18 marks in objective. And he said he already marked 18 questions, the 18 marks is there. And yes, that's a power of wisely choosing the questions according to your knowledge level. If you know something 90% you are sure, you can say 95% you are sure, you can mark it, even though the regret will be there if the answer is correct after you discuss with your friends. But if you're 100% sure in a question, you're gonna grab that mark. I can say, and beware of the negative marking. It will gonna eat your good marks that you actually scored with your hard work. So don't let that happen. Be wise. And the next point is the objectives. You can say the mock exams will happen. On that mock exams, some of the mock exam will be of objective mock exam. You can say for Java and DBMS, there will be some mock exam for DBMS. They will conduct it. You have to actually note down questions. I don't think you can write all the things. They will actually, collect the rough papers. But you can actually, observe that question. And you can say, understand the question, read through the question, what is the level. And just after the exam, maybe after, you can say 30 minutes, or you can say within 1 hour, just, write all the concepts. What are the questions they have asked the mock tester. Then, and you can actually prepare on that areas also. So that will also work for you. Because sometimes mock exam questions is kind of, I will not say replica, but still it is somewhat near to the actual exam question. But still, you have to actually note down those questions plus other topics also. We cannot completely trust the mock and solve all the question according to that level. But still, I'll suggest you maximum collect the resources from legs, from the mocks, from all the things they are actually giving you for preparation, etc. And the next thing is, what is the study material? Obviously, it will be your Lex course. Okay, so in Lex course, in what level, in which parts you have to actually prepare for the exam? In Java as well as in DBMS, there will be Lex course, right? You all know about the Lex course and the material. There will be some assignments, things will be there. You have to solve it for the hands-on. Plus, there will be some quiz topics, some quizzes after all the topics. You have to actually solve completely all the quizzes. I will say more than 3 to 4 times. There will be some coding questions for loop. You can say the switch type questions, the output type of questions. You have to actually, pay more attention. if any of the questions is out of the context or any of the questions you don't know, actually you have to actually note it in a book. It is very mandatory to keep a book. I have seen that a lot of people are actually studying for the hands-on, and on the objective day, I can say on the objective afternoon, they'll be like there are some people who are already prepared these all things for the objective. They'll have books, you can say kind of books, and they'll write a lot of notes in that, and these guys will only look at these notes on that limited time. And that will only help you to, even though you have cleared the exam 60 out of 60, just imagine you scored 60 out of 60 and you just need for 5 marks to clear the exam. But I will suggest you, if you already score 60, then there's a chance that you will get an incentive. So why can't you try for 20 plus? Because it will help you to score 80 above and the incentive will be there, right? Even though you cleared this much of level, then a little bit of hard work, result amazing. I hope you understand the thing. You have to actually prepare. Just grab a notebook and a pen and then just write for the notes, okay? I'm not going to say you have to write essay things. No, it's not like that. Understand the concept, and if any question is bothers you, multiple times, just note the question and, revise it multiple times. Okay. So the quiz thing is very, very, very important. You have to solve every quiz, 3 to 4 times. That's a revised pattern. You have to revise it. And the thing is that there's a connect quiz. I think almost everybody in the training, or you can say after the guys who completed the training, they are well aware about the connect quiz. It's actually a fun level game. It's actually, everyone is participating in the connect quiz who can play the quiz. Lot of people, I will say 60 to 70, or we can say 80% of people are, taking it in a fun way. Who is coming in the leaderboard? Who is the guy who is coming first, second, third, and what is the point? All the things like the scorecard. There is nothing wrong in that. You can actually play. That's a healthy competition. But the important thing is that you have to actually note down the question. You actually have to look at the question and understand, okay, this kind of question, the question in this level also the question will be gonna ask. You can say the smart people will actually play the game, but the wise people will actually note down the questions and revise it for the final battle, which is your objective exam, and score there better. The connect quiz will not give you any come first. You will not get a single eclair. Nobody will give you nothing, just a few claps, or you can say 10 or 15 seconds claps. That's it. But the actual battle is your objective exam, like. So you have to actually note down the connect quiz. And the most important thing is the self-assessment that comes under the last of the course. Every course will have a self-assessment at the last session. After reading all the topics, see, and even though if you're reading the concept every day, take some notes on that points. You can say the topics. Just write 1 or 2 lines about the topic, which is, for example, if there's a section called DBMS joins, there will be a lot of joins is there. Inner join, outer, left outer, right outer, full outer. That kind of things is there, right? So even though we'll only use left outer, we're not gonna use right outer, and it's just like we have to actually change the position of the table. That's why. So just write some notes about these things. I'm not gonna say that writing essay, but still 1 or 2 points to note these things. And after doing the self-assessment, there will be some doubts will be there. Some people will clear the assessment, some will not, and that's completely okay. If you don't clear, you can actually have after 24 hours. The window will again going to reset, and you can actually do it after 24 hours. But if there is any doubt in any question, please ask your friends. So you can say your co-educators, your educators, and clarify the doubts. The doubts, you can say the questions in the self-assessment on the last of the course. That is very, very, very important at your objective level exam. See, you can say similar, or you can say in that same level question. I will not say the same question. The same level question you can expect in your objective exam also. So please do take care of that. Solve that questions properly and thoroughly. And the thing is that, do I need to prepare notes, or shall I can just read through the courses and all the things, and just, because the thing is that I'm a writing person. I love writing and I love to note the things. So I definitely suggest everybody to write the concept, because Lex will have plenty of web pages. You can say if you click on the next pages, there'll be load of web pages is there. Not actually possible to mark all the things, bookmarking the stuff. It's a course actually, right? So you can't even bookmark the things. So it's better to write the things, and when and where you can note the things is that I will highly recommend you to actually note the things on the day itself, because if you are studying a concept in a day, on the day itself you are noting the thing, it will be more clearer in your mind. After maybe one week, or you can say 2 weeks, if you are noting the things will be like, kind of difficult for you. So it's better to do your notes preparation on the day, or you can say the next day. So on that way, alternative day, you can prepare notes. And what I did was, I actually prepare notes for alternative days, or you can say some days I'll do it depends on my mood also. See, we are not robots, right? We also need some change in our routine. In that way, we'll not get bored to the exam. So if the exam is of it's coming to the 1 week, after the 1 week there's exam, I will definitely going to clear my notes every day. But otherwise, I'll do it in alternative day. But don't fetch into the last, you can say the Saturdays on Sundays on all the stuff. You can actually plan your notes according to that. And after, you can say every week you can actually revise to the notes also. So writing will not work. You have to actually revise the things. Otherwise, you will forget a lot of concepts. You can say 95% of the things you will forget if you just write and if you don't read it within 1 week. So that's the thing. And you can actually revise the things in Saturday, Sunday that I have already discussed. And one more thing is that, do I need to prepare any online stuff or anything that is external to the objective? I will suggest you to don't do that. Because you see, courses are teaching their own courses, they are actually working on giving you the Connect quiz, their self-assessment questions, and they are actually conducting the exam. So it's better to stick with their own content. I will suggest you to 85 to 90% focus on Infosys. And it's like, if you completed everything, every quiz, every problem, every assessment you completed, still you have time, then you can go for online. Otherwise, don't, rush into online first and, left all the Infosys content later. First, you have to stick on the Infosys material. That's the point that I have observed with a lot of guys. Actually, one person said to me that we have to actually score lead code level questions to pass Infosys. And I have observed that one person, one girl, she is actually from non-IT background, precisely from EEE, and she don't have any Java knowledge. She didn't have any Java knowledge prior. She is actually following Lex. Completely she is following Lex, reading through Lex, focusing on Lex, and she cleared in the first attempt itself. So it's like, you have to actually stick on the Lex. Then only I have realized, okay, and I have asked her, do you preparing from the Lex? And she's like, yes, I'm completely preparing from the Lex. So it's like, if you're preparing with the lead code, that's also okay, no problem. But after completing all the Lex concepts, after, first, your first most priority will be your educator's words, what he or she is going to, say that this is important, this is mandatory, you have to focus on that, the words, and the Lex content, the Connect piece, the self-assessment. Then again, that comes the online part. Then you can actually refer the online. So, I hope I have covered everything. That's all for this video. I hope you understood. Any doubts, please do, comment through the comment section. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and share the video, share it to your friends, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video.